Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so excited about getting to share the two stories that I'm going to share today. I'm going to share, the first one is called Stellaluna, and I'll introduce that one and get into that one in just a moment. And then as a special bonus, if you can stick around, I'm going to share with you one of my very favorite books that my grandmother gave me when I was about 3 or 4, and it's called Never Tease a Weasel. And so if you can stick around for that, I will read that to you after we do Stellaluna, and I can answer a couple of questions for you if you want to after that. So 2 little readings for us today. The major one is going to be Stellaluna though. So before I get started, I want to let you know, you're all muted right now, and you'll stay muted while I'm reading. And then if you come up with questions throughout, as I'm thinking through the story, you can share them with someone there with you. And remember, and we'll unmute you afterward and you can ask your questions then. So I'm sorry that I won't be hearing you if you're talking with me while I'm reading, but I want to hear what you say. And so you can tell me at the end. We can open it up and have a couple of questions if you guys want to, or some responses. So I want to start off by saying, we have a ritual that we do at Highline that many places do, where we acknowledge the land that we're on. And so I just would like to recognize the people whose land I live on today. I happen to live and work on the ancestral native lands of the Coast Salish and the Puyallup peoples. And much of Highline's campus is located on Muckleshoot and Duwamish and Puyallup Indigenous lands. And so I want to take a moment and honor the First Nations people who are here with us and whose lands we occupy. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into Stellaluna. I was sharing with some folks who were here early. I have a little Stellaluna bat. Stellaluna is a little bat, and I have a little toy Stellaluna. And if you know anything about the word luna or lunar, that usually refers to things that have to do with the moon. Things that have to do with the moon are lunar. And so bats fly at night. And so I kind of think that's why Stellaluna's mother named her Stellaluna. So we'll get into this. And I just want to let you know that Stellaluna right away in this story gets into an adventure that's a little bit scary. And so I just want to let you know that it's all going to turn out okay. There's a number of happy endings that come along. So hold on tight and grab your little stuffed animal if you have it, and remember questions that you have. And so I'll read the story, and then there's also a little information page at the end about bats, and I'll read that to you too. And then I'll open it up and take your questions. So here we are with Stellaluna, and it was written by Janelle Cannon and published by Harcourt Brace in 1993. So let's go. All right, Laura. In a warm and sultry forest, far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Fruit Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. I will name you Stellaluna, she crooned. And each night, Mother Bat would carry Stellaluna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. And down, down she went, faster and faster, into the forest below. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings around her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stellaluna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down and down again she dropped. I just want to pause and say, are we really recording? Good, if so. Okay. Floop! Stellaluna landed headfirst in a soft, downy nest, startling the 3 baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the 3 birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh, here comes Mama," hissed Pip. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest and closed her eyes and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. Ugh. But Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs, even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once, when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. And when Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. "Eek," she cried, "get back up here this instant. You're going to fall and break your necks." And the little birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. "You're teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house." And Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces, and she slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. All the babies grew quickly, and soon the nest became crowded. And Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. And one by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. "I am just like them," thought Stellaluna. "I can fly too." And Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch, and Stellaluna tried to do the same. Whoop! Ah! Woo! Yeep! How embarrassing. "I will just fly all day," Stellaluna told herself. "Then no one can see how clumsy I am." And the next day, Pip and Flitter and Flap and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. "The sun is setting," warned Flitter. "We had better go home or we will get lost in the dark," said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The 3 anxious birds went home without her. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached and she dropped into a tree. "I promised not to hang by my feet," Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. "Hey," a loud voice said, "why are you hanging upside down?" Stellaluna's eyes opened wide, and she saw a most peculiar face. "I'm not upside down. You are," Stellaluna said. "Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs. So that makes you upside down," the creature said. "I am a bat. I am hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up." Stellaluna was confused. "Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong." Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat. More bats gathered around to see the strange young bat who behaved like a bird. And Stellaluna told them her story. You ate the bugs, stuttered one. You slept at night, gasped another. How very strange, they all murmured. Wait, wait, let me look at this child. And a bat pushed through the crowd. An owl attacked you? She asked, sniffing Stellaluna's fur. She whispered, you are Stellaluna. You are my baby. You escaped the owl, cried Stellaluna. You survived? Yes, said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stellaluna. Come with me and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live. But it's nighttime, Stellaluna squeaked. We can't fly in the dark or we will crash into trees. We are bats, said Mother Bat. We can see in darkness. Come with us. And Stellaluna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stellaluna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. And soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stellaluna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. I will never eat another bug as long as I live, cheered Stellaluna as she stuffed herself full. I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap. And the next day, Stellaluna went to visit the birds. Come with me and meet my bat family, said Stellaluna. Okay, let's go, agreed Pip. They hang by their feet and they fly at night and they eat the best food in the world, Stellaluna explained to the birds on the way. And as the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, I feel upside down here. So the birds hung by their feet. Wait until dark, Stellaluna said excitedly. We will fly at night. When night came, Stellaluna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leapt from the tree to follow her. I can't see a thing, yelled Pip. Neither can I, howled Flitter. Aye, shrieked Flap. They're going to crash, gasped Stellaluna. I must rescue them. And Stellaluna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air, and she lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch, and Stellaluna hung from the limb above them. We are safe, said Stellaluna. And then she sighed. I wish you could see in the dark too. Well, we wish you could land on your feet, Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. And they perched in silence for a long time. How can we be so different and feel so much alike, mused Flitter. And how can we feel so different and be so much alike, wondered Pip. I think this is quite a mystery, Flap chirped. I agree, said Stellaluna. But we are friends, and that's a fact. So that's the story. And it goes on, and there's some things that the book has to teach us about bats. So let's go learn about that for just a moment. Bat notes. Of the nearly 4,000 species of mammals on Earth, like us, almost 1/4 are bats, the only mammals capable of powered flight. The scientific name for bats is Chiroptera, meaning hand wing, because the skeleton that supports the wing is composed of the animal's elongated finger bones. And the majority of bats are classified as Microchiroptera, which means small hand wing. Nearly 800 varieties fill special niches in every climate around the world except for polar zones. The lifestyles and food preferences of Microchiroptera vary widely. Many eat insects while others catch fish, amphibians, and reptiles. And finally, there's the famous vampire bat, of which there are only 3 species, and they range from Mexico to Argentina. And the vampire's victims are mostly domestic cattle and native mammals and birds. The other 170 or so species of bats are the fruit bats, otherwise known as Megachiroptera, or large handwing. And as their name implies, these are the largest bats, sometimes boasting wingspans of 6 feet. That's as tall as the tallest people you know. Fruit bats generally have long muzzles, large eyes, pointy ears, and furry bodies, which is why they are often called flying foxes. And unlike Microchiroptera, who travel by echolocation, they make squeaks and they can tell where they are from the sound bouncing off of things. Fruit bats instead depend on their keen vision and sense of smell to navigate. Amazing. They live in tropical and subtropical climates that provide year-round supplies of their favorite fruit and flowers and nectar. Some fruit bats, as they forage for nectar, are responsible for pollination of many types of night-blooming trees and plants. Others eat whole fruits, seeds and all, and distribute the seeds over the forest floor in their droppings. So when they poop, they plant. Regeneration of tropical forests depends greatly on bats. So I just want to finish this with a note that says, I hope that you've learned to have friendly thoughts toward bats, but I want to caution you, if you ever come across a bat, don't ever touch it, and go tell somebody about it, and stay away from it, because some of them, they have diseases that we don't want to catch. And so it's very important never to touch one, but we can love them like Stellaluna. Okay, I'll stop this share. Does anybody have any questions or things you want to say? Do you want to unmute yourself and say something or ask a question?
My question is about horses.
About horses?
You have a question about forestry? Well, that's exciting. What is your question?
Horses.
Horses.
Oh, horses. Well, let's have it. What's your question?
Do you have a question? I think that was it.
Well, I have questions about horses too, so we have that in common. Who else has a question? Oh, Tessa, your grandmother read the book to you too. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys down here in the bottom, that's my mother. That's my mother bat, Linda Taylor. Hi. Oh, this is so exciting. Well, Monica, I think I'll go ahead and shift over to Never Tease a Weasel then. Get this pulled up on here. All right, so I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen if I can. Okay, so this book, Never Tease a Weasel, this one was written by Jean Condor Soul and illustrated by Denman Hampson. And this one was published by Parents Magazine Press, copyright 1964. 1964. There have been other versions of it since then, but this is mine. The one that I have pictures for you today is from this. And so Never Tease a Weasel. You guys know what weasels are. They're the little, they're kind of like little long mice, I guess. Weasels and otters and ferrets all kind of look the same. So this here is a weasel up in the tree in this picture. And so this is a rhyming book, and it's really, the language is just so yummy. And I think that the person who wrote it wanted to say a special message about teasing. And so I don't know how much you know about teasing. Sometimes teasing is fun to do. It kind of feels good to kind of tease people, even people we care about. But a lot of times teasing is really hurtful. And so I think the person writing this book, they were loving all the rhyming things and rhyming words with different animals. And I think when they got to writing about the weasel, they thought, oh, we could say you could tease a weasel. But the whole message of the book is that that's not a good idea. We shouldn't tease weasels. So I want to show you guys this. The first page of the book that I have is signed by my grandmother, and she got this book for me. It's dated March of 1969, so I was about 3.5 years old. And so I'll share with you at the end. I don't know when in my life I wrote a couple of the verses myself to add to it, but I'll share them with you. And I so encourage you to come up with your own verses if you want to, and come up with your own rhymes, and enjoy doing that. Okay, let's go. So never tease a weasel. My mom told me that when I was young, I would always say to her, let's read the book, Never Tease a Weasel. But it's not weasel, it's a weasel. You can call them weasels if you want to, though. Okay, never tease a weasel. Oh, I love these pictures. They're so beautiful. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get a drink of water because this is so fun. Okay. Here we go. You can knit a kitten mittens, and perhaps that cat would purr. You could fit a fox with socks that exactly matched his fur. You could make a goat a coat with a collar trimmed in mink, or give a pig a wig in a dainty shade of pink. But never tease a weasel. This is very good advice. A weasel will not like it, and teasing isn't nice. You could make a riding habit for a rabbit if you choose. That's an outfit to wear a horse, answering one question about horses. Or you could make a turkey perky with a pair of high-heeled shoes. You could make a collie jolly with a gay crocheted cravat, or make a possum blossom in an Easter Sunday hat. But never tease a weasel, not even once or twice. A weasel will not like it, and teasing isn't nice. You could build a mouse a house with a chimney made of bricks. You could give a dove some gloves and a set of walking sticks. But never tease a weasel. There, now I've said it thrice. A weasel will not like it, and teasing isn't nice. You could give a mule a pool and some jaunty swimming trunks. You could send a case of Spanish lace to a pair of lady skunks. You could give a fish a dish for her favorite seaweed stew. Send 3 frogs some sailing togs and a yachting cap or two. But never tease a weasel. Now I can't be more precise. A weasel will not like it, and teasing isn't nice. You could bake a drake a cake for his special birthday treat. You could braid a bug a rug to make his bug house neat. You could feed a spider cider or perhaps pink lemonade, or give a moose some juice to sip on in the shade. But never tease a weasel. Now remember what I've said. It's more fun to please a weasel and be friends with him instead. So it's kind of a theme for our stories. That's it. I'll share with you guys. I don't know when I wrote this, but I wrote, you could give a hamster Pampers to keep him dry at night. You can give a firefly a flame to help him stay afloat. So those are my little rhymes, and I would love you guys to come up with rhymes too if you want to. Referring to Never Tease a Weasel. Oh, you also had a grandmother version of Never Tease a Weasel, Tessa. I love it. All right, so if you guys want to unmute again, you're welcome to. If you have anything to say about bats or horses or weasels or anything or teasing. And for those of you who didn't see, this is my little Stellaluna again, my little fruit bat toy. And then I have another one, a little finger puppet, who should be hanging upside down, I think. So I've enjoyed being friends with you. Bye, Stellaluna. Thank you guys so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. It was such a pleasure to meet you all and to read a story to you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Laura.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, this has been so amazing, Laura. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. This was so fun.
So again, the closed caption version of this video will be available within a few days on the Highline Storytime website. And also next week, we are introducing adult storytime. So next Thursday, January 28th, English faculty member Sean McFessel will be reading from his very own work. So that should be awesome. So, tell your adult friends to come and join us next week.
Thank you, Monica. I can't wait for that.
Thank you, everyone.
Aw, sweet. Thank you, Donna. Aw. Oh, so sweet. Thanks for coming, Maya.